Hi, I'm Katie, your safety trainer, and in today's video, we'll be talking about anhydrous ammonia. Anhydrous ammonia is a chemical that can exist in both gas and liquid forms, and it's commonly used in a variety of industrial processes. Train, track, remind. Train, track, and remind.
Train, track, and remind.
Safety training doesn't have to be expensive or a pain. With Got Safety Lite, you get unlimited access to over 2,000 safety videos in English and Spanish for just $10 a month. That's it. No fine print, just solid, straightforward training. Need a little more? Step up to our full Got Safety app. It's a powerful learning management system that lets you train, track, and remind automatically. Not to mention, it's simple to use. Already dropped serious cash on your own LMS? We won't make you start over. Just plug in our content and keep rolling. And if there's a video you need that we don't have, we'll make it for you for free. Yep, that's how sure we are you're gonna love Got Safety. 3 ways to train, 1 place to do it all. Got Safety. Train, track, and remind. However, it can be extremely dangerous if not handled properly due to how it interacts with the human body. In this video, we'll go over what anhydrous ammonia is, the permissible exposure limits for this chemical, the hazards you could be exposed to, the personal protective equipment or PPE that may be necessary when working with or around anhydrous ammonia, and some safe work practices to help reduce the risk of an incident or injury when working in areas where anhydrous ammonia is present. Anhydrous ammonia is a chemical compound made up of 1 nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atoms, which is often abbreviated as NH3. It's used in a variety of industries such as refrigeration, fertilizer production, water treatment facilities, and chemical manufacturing. Because of its versatility, anhydrous ammonia plays a crucial role in many industrial processes, but it can also pose serious health risks if not handled with care. Under pressure, anhydrous ammonia exists as a clear liquid. However, when released from pressure, it rapidly turns into its gaseous form. As a gas, ammonia is lighter than air and is clear and invisible. Anhydrous ammonia is hygroscopic, which means it doesn't contain water molecules but is highly attracted to them. When the gas comes into contact with moisture in the air, it quickly binds to that moisture and forms a white cloud. This cloud is heavier than air and will travel along the ground. A single gallon of liquid ammonia can expand into 855 gallons of gas when released from pressure. Sometimes, ammonia can leak from closed systems and drip onto the ground as a liquid before vaporizing into gas. This can appear similar to a steam or hot water leak. If you notice something like this, it's crucial to notify a supervisor and proceed with caution. Ammonia has a strong, pungent odor that stings the nostrils, similar to ammonia-based cleaning products. When exposed to ammonia, the effects vary. At its lowest concentration, you may first notice its pungent smell. Long-term exposure to low levels can cause headaches, nausea, excessive salivation, and vomiting. At slightly higher concentrations, the ammonia will cause a burning sensation in your eyes. As the concentration increases, this sensation can spread to your nose, underarms, and groin, as these areas tend to have more moisture. It can also cause a burning feeling in your throat and lungs. It's vital to leave the area immediately at the first sign of an ammonia release, whether by sight or smell. The faster you act, the safer you'll be. Anhydrous ammonia can be extremely dangerous depending on how concentrated it is in the air. At 50 parts per million, or ppm, prolonged or repeated exposure doesn't cause injury. However, at 134 ppm, you might experience irritation in the nose and throat. At 700 ppm, the exposure can lead to coughing, severe eye irritation, and even loss of sight if not addressed quickly. When ammonia levels reach 1700 ppm, it can cause serious lung damage, and death is possible unless immediate treatment is provided. At 2000 ppm, skin blisters and burns can occur within seconds. Finally, exposure to 5000 ppm can lead to suffocation within minutes. It's important to understand these levels and the corresponding effects in order to respond appropriately to an ammonia release and to always use the necessary safety equipment. Due to how dangerous anhydrous ammonia can be, both the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, and Cal OSHA have set permissible exposure limits. For federal OSHA, the 8-hour time-weighted average, or TWA, is 50 parts per million, or ppm, which equals 35 milligrams per cubic meter. For Cal OSHA, the 8-hour TWA is 25 ppm, or 17 milligrams per cubic meter, and the short-term exposure limit is 35 ppm, or 24.5 milligrams per cubic meter. These limits are in place to reduce the risks associated with prolonged exposure to ammonia. When working in areas where anhydrous ammonia is stored or used, you could be exposed to several serious hazards. For example, if large amounts of anhydrous ammonia leak into the area, you might experience respiratory irritation or even suffocation, as the gas can make contact with the moisture in your throat and lungs. If ammonia gets into your eyes, it can cause irritation or permanent damage. Skin exposure to anhydrous ammonia can lead to irritation, burns, and even frostbite, depending on the amount of ammonia in contact with your skin. Low-level exposures can also cause headaches, nausea, excessive salivation, and vomiting. If your clothes are wet and come into contact with leaking ammonia, they can freeze to your body due to the ammonia's hygroscopic nature, meaning it draws moisture from the air. Additionally, there is a risk of explosion or fire, especially in areas with high concentrations of anhydrous ammonia, or if it mixes with incompatible chemicals. Always take appropriate precautions when handling or working near anhydrous ammonia. To minimize the risk of injury when working with or around anhydrous ammonia, it's essential to wear the appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE. This includes safety glasses or goggles to protect your eyes, and a face shield for added protection in case of splashes. Chemical-resistant gloves are necessary to prevent direct contact with the ammonia, while long-sleeve clothing and pants offer additional protection for your skin. Protective aprons or clothing may also be needed to shield yourself from potential spills. A respirator with an ammonia cartridge or a self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA respirator, should be worn to protect your respiratory system from inhaling toxic ammonia vapors. Closed-toed or steel-toed shoes or boots are important for foot protection, while an anhydrous ammonia monitor, either mounted or personal, helps to keep track of ammonia levels in the air. Additionally, it's recommended that you avoid wearing contact lenses in areas where anhydrous ammonia is present, as ammonia can get trapped between the lens and the eye, potentially causing damage. Before using any PPE, be sure to inspect it for wear and damage. If any equipment is damaged, report it to your supervisor and do not wear it. When working around areas where anhydrous ammonia is stored or used, it's crucial to follow safety protocols to protect yourself and others. First and foremost, only trained and authorized personnel should be allowed in these areas. This ensures that everyone working with or around anhydrous ammonia is prepared to handle potential hazards. Next, it's essential to make sure that all mounted and personal anhydrous ammonia monitors are properly calibrated according to the manufacturer's instructions and your company's policies. If these monitors are malfunctioning or not calibrated, report the issue immediately to your supervisor. If the monitors sound an alarm, evacuate the area quickly and safely, following the company's evacuation procedures. Pay close attention to the outdoor windsocks in your work area. These can help determine the direction of wind in case of an ammonia release, so you know which way to move to avoid exposure. Make sure the windsocks are in good condition and properly mounted. If they're damaged, missing, or incorrectly mounted, report the issue to your supervisor. It's also vital to familiarize yourself with emergency exit routes and evacuation areas. If you're visiting a facility where anhydrous ammonia is present, be sure to check with the designated contact about emergency procedures. In the event of any ammonia leaks, be alert for small leaks or drips from the piping that might look like steam or hot water. If you notice any suspicious leaks or puddles, report them immediately to your supervisor. Make sure to verify the source of any leaks according to your company's and the facility's procedures. If you smell, see, or feel the effects of ammonia, leave the area immediately and notify your supervisor. Never walk toward an anhydrous ammonia cloud. Evacuate the area and contact your supervisor for further instructions. In the event of ammonia coming into contact with your skin or eyes, head to the nearest eye wash station or emergency shower. Rinse thoroughly until emergency medical help arrives. Always be prepared and follow your company's guidelines to ensure a safe work environment around anhydrous ammonia. To conclude, anhydrous ammonia is a useful but highly dangerous chemical when not handled properly. To reduce the risk of injury, always wear the appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE based on the tasks you're performing and the area you're working in. Make sure you're familiar with the facility's emergency exit routes and designated evacuation areas in case of a release. If you have any concerns or questions about working in areas where anhydrous ammonia is present, don't hesitate to speak with your supervisor. That's all for today's lesson. If you like this video, look for us on social media. And remember, stay safe out there.